Good morning, Reagan. I hope you are having a very happy Friday. 2 days of no school. I bet you are so pumped. Okay, so for our lesson today, we are on lesson 5. We're doing some more division today. Mrs. Wiley, remember, is going to try her absolute best to write legibly. So let's look at our first example. It says, example 1, a large city has a total of 22,500 students that ride a bus to school. There are 75 different schools within the city. How many students are dropped off at each school if an equal number of students are dropped off at each school? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to highlight our important information. So we have 22,500 students, highlight, at 75 different schools. Highlight that also. So what are we going to do? It says let S represent the number of students dropped off at each school. We do not know that yet, so what we do know is the two numbers that we're going to be dividing. So we have 22,500 divided by 75 different schools. Okay, they so nicely and so kindly put this in place for us already. So can 75 go into 2? No. Can 75 go into 22? No. Can 75 go into 225? Yes. Now, listen very carefully. I will let you use a calculator to multiply to figure out what we need to do. Not the whole problem, but I will let you multiply because 75, that's a big number. One thing, if you know where all my calculators went, please share with me because I cannot find any. On a side note. Okay, so how many times can 75 go into 225? Well, 75 plus 75 is 150. And 150 plus 75 is 225. So let's put a 3 up top. 3 times 75 gives me 225. 5 minus 5 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So now we're going to bring down our other 0. Can 75 go into 0? Nope. So we're going to put a 0 up top. 0 minus 0 times 75 gives me 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring down my other 0. Can 75 go into 0? No. 0 times 75 gives me 0. So our answer is 300. 0 minus 0 gives me 0. Lots of zeros. So 2,225 divided by 75 gives me 300. So S equals 300, and 300 students are dropped off at each school. Whoa, that's a lot of students. Oops, that should be a 3, sorry. I was all into all of the zeros. All right, let's go on to the next page. Let's look at example 2. It says estimate the quotient of 46,534 and 152. Then divide. Is 36 a reasonable quotient? Explain. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to estimate. We have 46,534. Is that closer to 45,000 or 50,000? 45,000. And we have 150. Is that closer to 150 or 160? 150. So let's estimate. We have 45,000 divided by 150. Mrs. Wiley's going to let you plug this into the calculator. What do you think it might be? It's going to be about 300. So we're going to write 300 once you punch that into the calculator, and I know how much you love to use the calculator. So we will be using it for this lesson because we are dividing some very large numbers, but you do need to still show your work, okay? So we have this set up for us. Can we take 152 divided by 4? No. What about 152 divided by 46? Nope. 152 divided by 465? Yes, we can do that. Let's try 2. So 152 times 2. Mrs. Wiley has to use her phone because I cannot find the calculators in this classroom. So 152 times 2 gives me 304. I think I can go one more time. Let's try. 152 times 3 equals 456. That is as close as I'm going to get to my number, 465. I'm going to put a 3 up top, and then I'm going to subtract. I have 465 minus 456. Can I take 5 away from 6? Nope. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. 6 minus 1 gives me 5. Now I have 15 minus 6 gives me 9. 5 minus 5 is 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, I'm going to bring down my 3. Now I have 93. Can 93 go into 156? No, so I'm going to put a 0. 0 times 152 gives me 0. I'm going to bring down my 9, because 9 minus 0 gives me 9. Now I'm going to figure out how many times 152 goes into 934. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator for this again. So let's try 5. 152 times 5 equals 760. I think I can go again. Let's try 6. 152 times 6 equals 912. That's probably as close as I'm going to get. So let's put our 6 up top, 912. So in this lesson, Mrs. Blythe just wants to make a real quick side note. So in this lesson, what we're doing is if you have a number, like when we did this and we had, can 152 can 152 go into 93? No, because it's too small. So you're putting a 0 in that place. And then you're timesing your 0 times your divisor on this side would be 0, and we're subtracting. So if you have a number that is too large to go into the number that you have for division, you put a 0 up top. That is what we're working on today. Okay, so back to our problem. We have 934 minus 912. 4 minus 2 gives me 2. 3 minus 1 gives me 2. 9 minus 9 gives me 0. My remainder is 22. So for this answer, we have 306 remainder 22. Is our estimate, since the estimate is 300 that we did earlier up top here, and the actual quotient is 306 remainder 22. Is that reasonable? Okay. So it's for guided practice. It says 1, find the missing number in the division problem below. Whoa, so we got to look at this. This one might take a little bit of time to figure out. So we're going to look at it. We have 25, we have 47,800 divided by 25. So we can see that 25 doesn't go into 4, and 25 goes into 47 one time. They subtracted, right? Okay, so 47 minus 25 gives me 22. And then I bring down my 8. How many times does 25 go into 228? If you would like, you can use your calculator for this. Let's try, remember, process or trial and error. Let's give a number. Let's try 8. 25 times 8 gives me 200. I have 228. I think I can go one more time. What do you think? So let's try 25 times 9. 225. So we're going to put a 9 up here. 225 is the number they got down here, so our missing number is 9. Okay, for your activity today, I would like you to do numbers 2 through 10. You do not have to do the homework assignment or any of the word problems on the back. I just really want you to focus on 2 through 10. You can use your calculator to multiply to figure out how many times your divisor goes into your other number. So I want you to remember that. Don't use it for the whole thing though. I still need to see your work, okay? So 2 through 10, that's all you have to do today. I would also like you to get your reflex, get your green light on your reflex. You do not need to do the homework, the word problems on the back, or any additional pages. So 2 through 10, green light. Have a great day. If you have questions, please comment below. I'm always here to help. And your time slot, I believe, is at 1 o'clock, but let me double check. So if you need help, just hop on here. Mrs. Bliley can help you. 12:45 to 1:30 I have for you. So please utilize me as much as you need me. All right. Have a wonderful, fabulous, great day.